I'm tired and I have not had any caffeine today. How many times will I step on my words?
How many times will you say good stuff?
This is tired stuff, man.
Tired stuff.
It's a tired act.
Shut up and sit down.
It's a time of the year where you thank somebody and because they gave you stuff, because they might like you.
Broken bicycles, old busted chains, rusted handlebars out in the rain.
You are listening to the Dialed Podcast with Matt Legrand, Evan Price, Lance Hepler, and Jake Von Turing. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go baste the turkey and hide the kitchen knives. Enjoy episode 91, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
The wheels won't turn when the other half's gone.
What a turkey like.
I love turkey on Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Hi, and welcome back to the Dial Podcast. I'm Jake Von During, and I'm here with Lance Hepler.
Lance Romance, in person, in studio.
In studio.
In all my terrible mustached glory.
So I've got a nice
handlebar mustache.
I've got a thick
really.
beard going, and I just want to shave it just to match you and
Yes,
sit across.
please do.
Sit across the
We
podcast
all have
table from you.
the possibility to do this
Yeah,
now. I think
good.
we all are, unshaven enough.
Do we need to?
I think so.
Is that worthy? Is that worthy of
Next
the gram?
Monday?
I'm-
Next Monday?
It just makes me laugh every time I look in the mirror. I look in the mirror and
I laugh every time I
Like,
look
oh,
at you
keep it
now.
How does Brandy like that?
She hates it.
I'm just amazed that it has made it this long, and she has not tried to assault you with a pair of clippers yet or something.
But she says, that's fine. I'll just quit shaving too. That's what she says.
There you go. Uh-huh. It is winter.
To his right, Evan Price.
What are we all drinking today? I'm going to pretend like I brought the drinks, but it was really Matt that brought the drinks.
We're sipping on Kirkland Sparkling Water, one of our favorite sponsors.
Wait, they're not sponsoring us.
They've yet to give us money.
They're
but
yet to give us money, but we do use their products quite frequently.
We're trying to speak it into existence. If we just say that Kirkland sponsors us enough, maybe they'll send us an email and be like, do we sponsor you?
We'll just send him an invoice, right?
Yeah,
Hey, just go back and listen.
that's a great idea.
It's on the podcast. I'm drinking a Ticino. That's how you say that, by the way.
I butchered that last time.
I think we all did.
I know.
Butcher.
I'm glad Rebecca called us out on that.
To Evan's right, the one, the only, Matt Legrand.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You guys are looking good. You're looking good.
No,
Ladies and
I'm
gentlemen.
not. I do not look
Ladies and
good.
gentlemen, you guys are looking good. I mean, you're looking good. In particular, the stashy area is looking good.
Ladies and gentlemen, not sitting at this
stash.
table, you're looking good.
The ladies and gentlemen that are not at this table are looking better, yes.
Point.
Right on. Let's backpedal. Evan, start us off.
All right. So, this last weekend, it is getting chillier here in the Pacific Northwest. The temperature is dropping. The leaves are falling, and the roads are getting almost what I would say icy. I feel like this next week we may have some iciness to deal with. It is possible.
We might.
But
We've been flirting with snow. It's popped up on the radar a few times, and it falls off, and it's replaced by sunshine. So I'm not complaining, but I am kind of looking forward to that first snow.
I heard somebody say it was a joke that it's going to snow on Thanksgiving Day, that was not real, that was fake news. Is that true?
It's fake news, yeah.
Fake.
I did hear somebody say that was fake news.
Yeah,
So,
it's going to frost or something. It's
Okay,
gonna be some
gotcha.
frost.
So I went for a ride Saturday with our one and only Jesse Tonkinson. It was a fun ride. I have been riding the gravel bike a lot, so I just feel safer on the roads. And for some reason, when it's cold outside and you're riding a gravel bike, I just feel like it just is more right on the road. It just feels more stable when there's a lot of gravel and leaves and stuff all over the road. It just feels right. But yeah, it was a fun weekend. Went to the Nike employee store too, which was the first time. I'd never been to that store before. Have you guys been there before?
It's a madhouse.
Yeah.
It is. We got there at a time where it was not too crowded, thank goodness. But yeah, I got the Pegasus Trail shoes.
Oh, nice.
So we're going to see how they work out. Matt, have you run in the Pegasus Trail before?
Nope.
You have not?
No, just the Pegasus. Yeah.
Oh, just the Pegasus. Okay.
Yeah.
I walked around in a pair of those
Gotcha.
for about 2 years. Didn't run in them though.
Didn't run in them?
They were comfortable.
Good. Well, I mean, that's basically my trail running is walking, so that works.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was about time though. The old trail shoes I was using were not even trail shoes. Also, not even a company that makes shoes anymore, and they had holes in the bottom, so it was time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Outside of that, yeah, that was about it.
You did any training at all?
I did a lot of training actually.
Mostly shopping.
Mostly shopping. Yeah, I did. In between training, I was shopping. Yeah, and that's about it. Yeah. But I think I'm coming back into some good fitness.
Are you?
Been consistent on the bike.
How's the swimming?
Swimming is a goal for December and January.
Okay.
Swimming right now is just swimming, and biking and running are doing well. So I had a workout that was comparable to what I was doing before races over the summer. So the fitness already came back pretty quick.
Good.
But the swim is still garbage.
Okay.
So
Hey, Lance, I heard you wanted to go next.
I did.
Yeah.
It's me.
race stories.
I do
with
have
Lance
race stories.
Hepler.
Yes.
I did. I put in about 17 hours this last week.
Jeez.
And
Dang. Really?
Yeah. I did race a couple times as well. But
17.
What was the
times.
because you
17
were
times.
riding like 11 or 12 hours pretty consistently in the weeks before, right?
I've been doing like 15.
Oh, you've been doing 50. Ooh, that's even
Yeah.
more than I thought. Wow.
So, but before that, the funnest part of my week, actually, not just the racing, but I got my gravel bike and my mountain bike back, and I had dropper posts put on both my mountain bike and my gravel bike. Thank you, Jake.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, I went mountain biking up on Mount Hood at Sandy Ridge, and the dropper post changed my life.
Really?
It was so much fun, so much more in control, so much better descending. It was just, I don't know why I have never done it before. So
Why do you feel like it gives you that much more control?
you're
low.
low. You lower your center of gravity, so your whole center of gravity moves
gotcha.
down, and so it's just
Yeah.
drop offs or downhill or descending or ledge drops, anything like that. It's just safer.
Gotcha.
You just feel way more in control. So.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good thing. And then I actually rode my gravel bike with Jake.
Yep.
Jake and I got out on, he was on his mountain bike. I was on the gravel bike. I was doing my leg openers for the day before the race, and we had a good time out there.
Trying to attack my KOMs, you sucker.
I did attack a couple of his KOMs.
Tried, though. That
which
was a key word.
I did not
Did you not
get.
get him? Okay.
I was second.
Just making sure. Yep.
So, but that was all leading up to the big races on the weekend. It's a new race this year. It was called Bridge City Cyclocross, Bridge City CX. And one of our local racers put it. He managed to put this race together in about 2 months, which is really short, really quick. But it was right almost near downtown Portland in Oaks Park. And the race was fantastic. The venue was great. The course design was really good. It was a very difficult course. There was a sand section right along the river. There were several off-camber sections. There were some paved sections in between. It was a really, really good course. But the reason he set it up was to try to get people to get more USA Cycling points that were trying to go to nationals. So that was why he was, the more it's
The bigger the field, the more the points,
Yeah.
the better the points.
the higher ranked racers
Oh,
that are
yeah.
in the field, the better points you get for doing the race. And depending on how it's complicated. It's like golf. The lowest scores are better. And the lowest scores, all of that depends on what kind of call-up you're going to get in your field at nationals.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on your USAC points. And so he set up these races so that people going to nationals could get more points. So the formula is complicated, but it has to do with the 10 best placers, what their USAC ranking was beforehand, how big the field was, and then where you place in that field. So, but it was really great because everybody came to the race. Like people that aren't even planning on going to nationals, if they had a USAC license, had USAC ranking, they came to do the race to help the people that, because having somebody in the field, even if I did the men's 1-2 field, the pro field, because I'm racing with guys that have lower points, even if I took 38th,
Right.
you get more points because the strength of field is stronger. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does.
It's complicated. So
That's really how a lot of the like USA Triathlon rankings work off of that is who you're racing, the ranking of the race that you're racing, and your place in the racing.
right.
And they have a massive algorithm, and then they spit out end of season rankings.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I went in planning to do 2 races. There was a Masters race in the morning and then the Open men's race in the afternoon. And the Masters race in the morning. So I've been racing the 50-plus field all year, but the Masters race was 35 and up.
Okay.
And so they put us all in one heat. There were 80 of us. So it was anybody from 35 up that wanted to do that race, 80 of us, and they sent us off, and I ended up 12th.
That's amazing.
I did really well.
That's really good in a 35 plus field for all categories, you said?
For all categories.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's a competitive field.
Yeah, so all categories. And and then what OBRA did, our local racing organization, is they broke us out by OBRA categories so we could see how we did with that. And I was like the 5th 50 plus. So which was really good too. And then like 2 hours later was the Open men's field. So this was all the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, the 4s, the 5s. No, I take that back. It was all the 1, 2s, and 3s. Mm-hmm. So if you could do a second race and race the 1, 2, 3s, they put us all in one field. There was 106 in that field, and there was only 2 OBRA categories, the 1, 2s and the 2, 3s. But we all went at once, and the call-ups were weird because they did it by USAC points, so only about 10 people got call-ups, and then it was just random. But I completely lucked out and was the first number called up.
What?
Yes.
Who'd you pay, Lance?
I don't know.
Wow.
So
that's suspicious.
Don't be
so
suspicious.
This is worthy of investigation.
So as soon as I was like on the 4th row or like on the 3rd row, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm gonna actually have to go for this because I'm up here. Plus, it's a longer race. It was a 60-minute race instead of a 45-minute race.
That's a long race.
It was a long race, but so all these guys that have been soundly beating me all year started, 50 people behind me.
Suckers.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, the first lap, there was a big clog up. And I was in front of that.
Yep.
I missed
You're
that.
gone.
So I was gone. So a couple of guys that have soundly beat me still beat me, but it took them 7 laps to catch me.
Yeah.
So which ended up being really great. And I ended up 38th out of 106th in all those Master 1.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So does that count as 2 races for...
I don't know how OBRA's going to do it.
Yeah.
It's 2 races for USAC points.
USAC points.
Yes.
Okay.
And even though I did 12th in the first race and I got 38th in the second race, I'll get better USAC points for the second race because the strength of field was way
that much better.
Much better.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So when they broke the 2 3s out.
Yeah, so I signed up as a 2-3 and I ended up second in the 2-3s. So there was only one other 2-3 that beat me.
Out of the 37 people in front of you or whatever.
Only one of them was a 2-3.
Were they all Cat 1s
They
in
were
front
all
of you?
Cat 1s.
Wow.
So does that mean those are like OBRA points then?
Yes.
Okay, right. Gotcha.
That's a big OBRA result then.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's why he made it on the podium for the 2-3s. And I think maybe some people just signed up in the 1-2 race instead of the 2. Whatever. I'm making excuses, but
Yeah.
And then tell us all about your warm up for that.
For which one?
I don't know. Were you
was
feeling
there
healthy?
No warm up for either?
Were you feeling healthy for your warm up?
Cranky body parts.
Oh, I got there in the morning. I started warming up. I did like 3 pre-lap rides, and my lower back seized up on me in the warm up before the first race, and I have not had back issues for like a year and a half.
If you are a longtime listener of this podcast, I think when you first came on the podcast, we were talking largely about that.
Yes, because it's what forced my retirement.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's scary. I mean, it's something, definitely.
So I wasn't having like leg issues. I was having just like this tightness in my lower back that I haven't felt in a long time. Like difficulty bending over to put my socks on.
Spasm, yeah.
Yeah. So it was hurting on that warm up, but then, I got in the race and I just like
don't think about it.
No. It just was like full gas for 40 minutes and then ended up well. And then I didn't want to cool down completely, so I kept riding a little bit in between the races.
Yep.
I chilled for a bit, but I didn't want to completely go cold, so I was trying to stay loose. And I really wasn't planning on going hard in the second race, but when I got that really good call up, I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta do it. Go.
Yep.
It's good.
So yeah, and I didn't really feel it in the second race either.
Good.
Which was good.
In between the races, you didn't really notice it?
No.
Could have been just the increase in volume and intensity that week.
Well, like the rest of that night, I couldn't like hardly walk, and this morning I had trouble getting out of bed.
Yeah. Did you make it to Pilates class today?
I did.
Okay, good.
I went to Pilates this morning with Jake and Matt. We had a good time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that did help it loosen up a little bit. But yeah. that's made me a little cautiously nervous about what to do there.
Yeah.
So does this mean that after nationals, maybe you take a little time?
Yeah, I might have to take some downtime.
That's not going to happen until January though, because he's going to look at his Strava and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I need to get like
15 hours,
another 15 hours, another like 700 miles to crack 12,000 miles for the year."
Yeah, what are you going to end up miles for the year?
I'm hoping to hit 10,000 miles for the year.
Okay,
and I'm like 700 miles short, so I think I'll.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna be at like 9,000 for the year. I keep on thinking you do a lot more off-roading than I had, so I think our miles are close, but they shouldn't be that close. You should be closer to like 12,000, while I'm at like 9 or 10.
That's I do all this off-road stuff.
We should not be within 1,000 miles of each other time and saddle.
Well, Saturday's race was full gas for an hour.
What'd you go, like 12 miles?
10.3 miles or something.
Exactly. Yeah, miles do not matter at the end of the day. I know everybody's got that 10,000 as like a badge of honor, but if you're doing a ton of gravel and cross riding,
right?
Yeah.
So it was great racing. It was a lot of fun. We had a bunch of teammates out there. I was glad I went and did it. So
good job, Lance.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. One last question on that whole race down there. Is that the race that was supposed to be the state championship race? Is that the same course?
Yes.
And I know that he was just having trouble getting everything pulled together.
Permitted in time to make it the state championship.
So
course.
I think moving forward into next year, the plan is to try and have that be the state championship race. How do you feel about that course?
It's fantastic.
Worthy?
Yes, it is, because it is not. It's not just a roadie course.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a big sand section which takes some skill to ride, and so that's cyclocross stuff.
I saw it called a Euro worthy course.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of that sort of technicality to it.
Enough tight turns, tight rooty turns and off camber stuff to make it difficult. A couple of difficult running sections, and then this big sand section, which complicated it for sure. So between my two races, I did 12 laps of this course, and this sand section, which was quite long, I was only able to ride it completely, I think, 4 times out of 12. Every other 8 time, I would make it halfway or 2/3 of the way, and
it's a big field too that you're talking about going through, so that helps. You know, as far as like. Traffic on sand means you're running, so
somebody goes down or just gets out of the rut ahead of you, and you lose momentum at all. You're off and running.
Yep.
So
it sounds like they put on a good race. So
it was good.
Kudos to Eric Tonkin and the Selwood Cycle.
Good job
down there.
They did a great job.
We had a
great time.
Mr. Matt LeGrand, want to backpedal for us?
Sure. So let's see. This week, one thing that was nice is I swam farther than I had swam prior to having this shoulder accident. I swam 4,000 meters. I don't remember which day it was, Tuesday or Thursday. So nice. That was good. Happy about that. I had done a few runs. One of my buddies, James Powell, he was one of our listeners.
Yeah.
Listener Hot Lap people.
JP.
JP came into town, and we went for a run Friday morning. We did 8 miles, nice, and he was very nice. He took it easy. Usually he runs 7-minute pace, and he just chilled out, which really helped me out, be able to kind of hang out with him and do the actual run. We did Heritage Trail, just beautiful run along the lake, and it was nice. Got 8 miles in with him.
Nice.
The other thing that we did this week was Pilates.
Yes, sir.
I did Pilates with Jake. Let's see. We did Pilates on Friday and then Pilates this morning before the podcast. Jake has done Pilates like 1 million times since then. He's going to be the king of Pilates. This whole podcast is going to change, and we're all going to be talking about Pilates soon. No. Yeah, somehow, yes. Seems to be good.
It is, and so far I'm really enjoying it.
Yep.
Personally, it's been beneficial for me as well. I mean, it's actually helping me solve a few other little ailments that I've had in my body, but my shoulder seems to be responding relatively well. I still have a lot of the neurological stuff, but it's still it's still kind of problematic, but it feels better. It feels like it's in a more natural position now, which is it's causing it to like kind of almost feel relaxed as opposed to always like tight and tensioned.
Is the ankle doing pretty well with it too?
It hasn't bothered me yet.
That's
So
good.
yeah, we've done a couple things. I'm like, all right, how's this going to feel? And so far so good. I did have a few little hiccups with the ankle over the last like week and a half or so on a couple different occasions. It's kind of got
Out of
caught.
soccer?
No, it was walking on uneven surfaces that kind of set it off. It was actually at a cross race out taking some pictures, and it kind of grabbed. It's like that little piece of cartilage, whatever, and they're kind of flapped up or something like that. And I felt it, and it didn't feel good. And another time coming down the stairs, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
grab the rails, don't fall down, please.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it is what it is.
Very cool.
So sorry, didn't mean to step on your back.
That's
pedal,
okay.
mate.
That's what we're here for.
Yep.
No, I think the Pilates is going well. I think I think it's good because like our group doesn't seem to like push it that hard. Like we're all about kind of rehabbing and not getting hurt any further.
There's a lot of technique to it. You can't just go into it like a bull in a china shop like you would in a gym when you're throwing weights around.
Right.
You really have to pay attention to the small little details, and when you do, there's a huge benefit there.
Yeah.
So
I think it's been solid. Yeah, so I think we'll keep doing that, especially through the winter, and see if we can kind of get strong.
I'm already set. I'm going to be there until race season
You're there.
starts. So
you're like Lance racing cyclocross. It's like
I'm all in.
17 times per week. Let's see. Oh, I did kind of try to do this 5K yesterday. That was super stupid of me, and I got 1 mile into it, and my calf just like knotted up, like boom, like cramped up, and I just stopped and was like, "Yep, I'm done." So
were you trying to run like at pace?
I started up kind of in the back, and I was kind of working my way forward, and I probably got down to somewhere around 6:30 pace or something like that. 6 minutes. You go around this kind of turn, and it was sharp enough. I don't know, whatever. Using my calf, I guess, is against the rules. So
Oh no.
yeah.
It's just the load on it. I don't think
something
had
popped
that
in there.
load on it. So
it was not prepared. So
Yep.
I'm gonna take
It'll
a
be
couple
okay
more
in a
days
couple
off of
days.
running.
It'll
So
be okay in
Me
a
too.
couple
Me
days.
too.
yeah. So anyway, great week.
Cool.
Yep, glad to be here.
Right on. My backpedal real quick. Did a couple of the team rides on Zwift. Did our Tuesday night normal one that we do with everybody. That was fun.
Yep.
God, the end of those rides hurt.
Yes, they do.
But it was a good finish. And then Cassie has been running the triathlons version of that similar setup on Thursdays. Those are a little bit shorter, but they're still fun, and they're a good workout. She runs them for an hour.
Guess who couldn't figure out how to do, Cassie's got to teach me tonight how to get it. Like I was in Watopia and I was like, okay, how do I get onto the team ride, which is ridiculous because I should know how to do this. I've been doing Zwift for like 3 months now.
Yeah.
Couldn't figure it out to save my life.
It's
I know
tricky.
you said like search you and you can join the person.
When you first log in and it's asking you what route and courses and all that other stuff, it'll show you people that you follow that are currently riding. Just click on their name right there.
I bet I don't have either you followed.
You
Probably
should, you
knowing
also,
you.
Probably not.
They have this companion app.
I'm going on to
the
Zwift
companion
Companion
app.
right now.
You need that. That's
Okay.
what you need. Because then you can reply, like you can accept a.
On the Zwift Companion, I will go to.
You want? I
Help
don't
me
know.
on that.
I just have I usually get an alert that I've been invited to a group meeting.
Well,
and
go
I
to your
just
profile
accept.
page and look at the followers that you have or the people that you're following. And if you don't see
Yeah.
me and if you don't see Cassie in there,
Oh,
then
find Zwifters here. I
Yeah.
can find Jacob Von During on here. Okay.
Yeah, this is riveting podcast.
I'll tell you what, this is about as exciting as it gets here, folks. I'm learning things.
And then aside from that, did the ride with Lance, which was fun to get outside. That was the only ride I did outside this past week. I still got my 8 hours in, which is still 2 hours shy of where I want to be. But my workouts, the quality stuff that I wanted to get in, I got done, which was fun.
It was nice.
But one funny, there's a notification. I think Evan might be following me.
Look at that.
Big time over here. Mr. Luddite's not so Luddite anymore. A quick funny story. So Garmin has their new Tax Neo 2, and there's the 2T.
Oh,
so
it's a 2T? Okay.
When we were talking about this on the podcast last week, Lance had mentioned that Western Bike Works is running a Black Friday sale. Well, that's for the older generation, which isn't really that old, but the new one, the 2T, is the brand new one that just came out. That's not the one that's on sale.
That's not the one they have on sale.
Yeah, if you want, you can give us a call, though.
but Jake can get it for you.
Yeah. The Tax Neo 2T, I have one. It came. It's been needing to get set up. But the problem is I don't have the XDR driver for the 12-speed cassette on it yet. So I went ahead and put an 11-speed cassette on it, put a different bike on there, and went ahead and rode it. And I wanted to see how it felt. So I'm riding along and I'm just doing my thing, and then all of a sudden it starts like making all these weird noises and it's shaking all over the place. I'm like, what's going on? This thing is too damn expensive to be already broken. And then it stopped doing that, but then it felt like the pedals were like slipping. Like you go to like pedal and it felt like the magnets weren't catching right. It was slipping. And I'm like, what? And then it stopped and it's like all fine again. I'm like, that was really weird. What was that all about? And I start writing and starts doing it again. And I'm like, there's something wrong with this. I literally stopped and I looked at it and I'm like, seems right. Got back on, started pedaling. It was still doing it, stopped again. And then the third time it did it, I'm like, what the? And I looked over at the Garmin, or not the Garmin, but the Zwift screen. I'm riding on a bridge.
Yep.
And there's that taptic feedback or whatever it is.
Yep.
I forgot all about that. They didn't even register with me. I thought I had broke a $1,400 trainer on the first time I was riding it. So
you can actually turn that up or down, not just on and off.
Yeah.
But you can like put percentages on it, how much you feel or not.
Is that the trainer that you have at home?
Yeah. I have the original one, not the 2T.
Yeah, but they've always done
This
that
is-
haptic feedback, which is cool.
Indoor riding has gone slightly too far here, in my opinion.
Nope.
Nobody wants to ride on a bridge. Like
Feel it.
who's
you feel it on the cobblestones. You feel it on the dirt. There's like a dirt vibration, and if
who
you try,
chooses to ride on cobblestones if you're not Belgian? Like that's
well, that's what's in Zwiftland. But if you're on the dirt too, and you go to pedal, you go to put some serious power into it, it'll slip. Like your back tire is breaking loose on the dirt. I'm like, that is just
a little bit. I think
that's insane. Yeah. So. No, that was the highlight of my week, figuring out how much of an idiot I was for not knowing that and putting two and two together finally, thankfully. And I'm so glad I didn't call Tex or Garmin up and say something's wrong with my trainer.
It's vibrating when I go over bridges.
All right. Hey, Champ Hepler, you got some whammy sports news for us, buddy?
We should take over on how many weeks this is going to last. I'm going with the next 100 podcasts. This is
Champ Bailey here. Got my pants on, unfortunately.
2-3 years from now, is that movie going to be considered like a Hallmark classic?
It's already 15 years old.
It's 15 years old.
If you asked a 14, oh my god, that means that kids in high school now were literally born when that movie came out.
Yeah,
that is a classic movie.
Boy.
Like, I don't like watching movies more than once. That's one I've probably seen at least a dozen times.
Yeah, there's some comedy gold in there. It's good. Anyway, okay. Bridge City Cross. I will give the category 1-2 men results. The race was won by Carl Decker.
Surprise!
He drove over from Bend. Second place was Josh Kelly. Also drove over from Bend.
Did they carpool?
Maybe.
And third place was Barry Wicks, who's also from Bend.
Dang it, Bend.
Bend in the
house.
So
those three guys all came over, which was really great. I don't think any three of them are doing nationals. I'm not sure about Josh Kelly.
But it was nice of them to show up.
But it was nice of them to show up. And I actually saw Carl at the beginning, and I'm like, Carl, thank you for being here. You realize you helped me very much by being here because of your USAC ranking. And he's like, oh, yeah, I forgot they did that. Yeah, sure. He just came to have some fun. So it's kind of funny. Carl's finishing time was 50 minutes and 36 seconds. He only beat me by 8 minutes.
Dude, you're right on his heels.
Just a quick
you were just
I
right
made
there.
the lead lap.
You could almost see him.
I could almost see him, but he beat me by 8 minutes.
In an hour race, he beat you by a seventh of the time.
The other cool thing is Clara Honsinger showed up. So who is arguably the best cyclocross women's racer in the country right now. And probably in the top three in the world right now. She's just like fantastic. She actually rides for Selwood's team.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, okay. Team S&M. And so she showed up, and she also raced the men field.
Good for her.
Yeah, to also again to help us out.
Really?
Yes.
That's so cool of her.
So does that help you out though?
Well,
because
there's some confusion with that, but she raced the men's field and then turned around in the very next race raced the women's field. She raced both of them to help both the men's field and women's field out, but she didn't race. She like
cruised.
She like went hard for like 4 laps and then
it was a workout for her basically. Yeah.
Like because in the results I'm actually ahead of her and I never passed her, although I was on her wheel for about 3/4 of a lap. I'm like, I'm right here with Clara Honsinger. This is awesome.
Totally.
And then she just rode away from me. So that was pretty cool.
Just in case if anybody was wondering if you guys were actually even on those lap times
yes,
when you forgot that she added a little bit.
Did she add a little bit? Just so you know, I was
when
not.
the course is even, it's not close.
I could not hang with her. In see, like in the 1-2 women's field, they had Clara as 8th place, and I don't think she even did all the laps, so which was great. But the women's race was won by Janelle Bickford. Second place was Taylor Snyder, and third place Alexandra Burton. So fantastic for them because I believe they are all going to nationals. Mm-hmm. So that's our local news. On an international level, Matthew Vanderpool.
Wait, let me guess. 1.
Yes, he did.
There you go.
So there's a big race. Coxidge, I just butchered that name.
Ticino.
But it's something in Belgium. Some big race in Belgium.
Big race in
So another big race in Belgium. But this one is known for its sand. There's a lot of sand on it.
You may be killing it in, Iceland and countries like that, like we talked about. You're not killing it in Belgium now. No, everybody in Belgium hates you.
Just made lots of enemies. So what's interesting about this race, yes, Vanderpool won, but because he doesn't have very many UCI points, he's starting on like the 3rd row. He's not starting on the 1st row.
Yeah.
And on the first lap, there was a crash, and he was held up.
Oh, so he had to work for it.
He was like in 50th or something, coming out of like the 2nd or 3rd corner. And by the time they finished one lap, he was in the lead.
Seriously?
Yes. I want to see his power profile after that. It must have been incredible. He probably put out 500 watts for a lap.
I'm sure.
If you're the rest of the field, you've just got to like almost stop and just shake your head.
Even
like,
more terrifying.
How do you beat this guy?
If you're a road racer this year who's like enjoying his off season right now, and you just look at that power profile, you're like, oh wow, yeah, I'm not winning a single one-day race this year.
Pretty unbelievable.
Wow.
And Champ Bailey out.
Whammy. Should we talk about the fact that Matt just walked away from us?
Don't worry, I can do lead out news for me and Matt because I got some things to share from the triathlon and running world, which are I know the two most valuable worlds to Lance and Jake over here. But
great.
This last weekend we had 2 Ironman races, one in Cozumel, Mexico, and one in Arizona. So the Dialed Triathlon team, we had 3 people go and race Arizona.
Oh, cool.
We had Ruth Fisher, Gail Burns, and Mike Stats. Now, all 3 of them, I will tell you what, the tenacity it takes to finish an Ironman if you are in that 12 and above range of hours just blows my mind. Watching my mother race Ironman for years, it just blew my mind that people will continue racing for that long and that hard. Because I'll tell you what, I would definitely have stopped and grabbed a coffee and just laid down at like hour 11. There's no way I'm making it past there.
My guess is there's a sweet spot where it's like, somewhere in that 12 to 14. But like when you're out there for 16 hours.
I am not a tough enough human being.
We're not tough.
That.
We're not that tough.
Oh my gosh.
It takes something in your head to keep putting one foot in front of the other at that point. Yeah.
So Ruth Fisher, 16 hours, 22 minutes. Ruth, you are incredible.
Congratulations.
Yes,
oh my goodness. You deserve a lot of snacks after that race. Like, oh my gosh. And about 3 full nights of sleep. Gail Burns, 14 hours, 40 minutes. And Mike's stats. So I know something personally about Mike's stats is last year he finished, I think it was like 14 hours and around 40 minutes. Or 2 years ago in 2017.
Because that's the year we were
2
there
years
together.
ago. Yeah. And he went 13:07 this year. That is a massive cut down.
Wow.
I'm a big fan of Mike.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his.
Oh, just I'm part of the Mike fan club.
Fan club.
Absolutely incredible work, Mike. Incredible. In less important news, in the pro field over in Cozumel, not Mike's stats, Tyler Butterfield won that race and ran. So he ran 2:38 in Cozumel. It is hot there.
Yeah, that's what they say.
It's not a fast race. And the fact that he went 7:44 there should be really scary to like everybody else in the pro field.
Yep.
I'm scared. But me and Tyler really aren't racing each other. But I'll tell you what, I think he would smoke me pretty darn good right now. But yeah, in the women's field, Carrie Lester, 8:38, flying time.
Yeah.
I mean, two really, really fast times. They both dominated their race. So this is where me and Matt can kind of do a little bit of layout. NCAA Cross Country Nationals was this last weekend.
Also, yeah.
Wet, cold, perfect cross race.
Yes.
I don't think Matt is watching yet. I got to see both races,
both of
the
them?
men and female. I haven't seen D2 or D3 yet. I've just seen D1.
Okay.
It was a great team race to watch go down. So somebody like Matt who can appreciate like the cross country team races, BYU beat Northern Arizona, which is huge.
Yeah.
That's Northern Arizona.
Go Cougars.
Go
There you go. So Northern Arizona has four-time Pete. They've won Nats 4 times in the last 4 years. And this was going to be, I believe, their 5th. And they placed 2nd. Now, BYU came out, and the scary thing for everybody else is that BYU had 3 scoring sophomores.
And didn't they have like 3 guys in the top 10 or something like that? They had 3 guys all together.
Wow.
They had 3 guys, I believe, in the top 25, I believe.
Okay.
But their top guy, Connor Mance, the sophomore, was 3rd and raced brave. He, in the last like 800 meters, tried to chase down the winner, who was Kurgat from Iowa State, who was 2nd last year.
Because it's BYU, he could be a sophomore and he could be like 48 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
He's probably 22.
Graduate transfer. Yeah,
Probably a 22-year-old.
Is he a graduate
sophomore.
transfer? Yeah.
And his wife is,
Yeah. And
His kids were there to support him. All 4 of them.
His kids running an Oregon next year. So from Oregon, Cooper Tier was number 6th in the race.
Nice.
Great run from the Oregon man. 2 Colorado University guys were in the top 10, Dressel and Klecker. And like I said, Colorado University took the 3rd spot on the podium. In the women's race.
That's a big result for them.
Yeah. In the women's race, Kaladi avenged her loss from last year. The New Mexico dominant track runner too as well, but she was 2nd at Cross Nats last year. Came back, won this year. Arkansas won the team championship.
Yeah. Arkansas girls are good.
They're strong.
I wonder what our listeners are thinking right now.
Hey, real strong.
So
what do you think?
For all of our cross
country listeners, you're welcome for reporting on this.
At regionals, Arkansas perfect scored or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So.
Got a nice segue for our next segment.
Exactly. Things we're thankful for. Cross. Yeah. So the collegiate cross season's done. The high school cross season is done.
Yes.
We're moving into the winter. I'm going to run out of lead out news here to annoy Jake and Lance with. So
he's filibustering right now, isn't he?
Yes, he
indoor track is right around the corner, though.
For podcast number 92 is things we are thankful for in our respective sports and their respective communities. All of our podcasters right now are thankful that bit is over.
No more cross-country talk.
Number 1, what am I thankful for? Cross country.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. So, yeah, it's almost Thanksgiving, guys. I can't believe it's already here. It just came so freaking fast.
And it's so cold. I was hoping it was going to be like in the 50s around this time of year, but no.
So let's just talk real quick about some stuff that we're thankful for. Like I said, in our respective communities and our respective sports. Lance, you want to kick things off?
You know, first thing I think of with Thanksgiving that I'm most thankful for is my family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course. I think we probably
Number 1,
all agree.
I think that's what we got. Yeah, you got to start there.
Yeah.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here. No, I'm joking.
Just being able to spend time with my family, do things with them, which sometimes is sports related and sometimes it's not. But I'm just thankful that I have a family that supports my ridiculous obsession.
Yeah, I was going to say in that same breath
with riding bicycles.
The fact that they're like open and receptive and supportive of us doing what we do as much as we do is pretty stinking nice.
Yes.
So I'm thankful for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Evan.
I'm going to say from a medical professional perspective, I'm thankful for endurance sports families, because there's nothing that makes me happier than watching somebody like Jake's family, Lance's family, or Matt's family walking in, and you got kids who want to run with their dads and moms, and kids that want to bike with their dads, and kids that go play soccer each weekend and are running around and moving. Because I get to see the opposite side of that, and I will tell you what, it is not pretty. Yeah. So if you're a family that moves, don't treat that as a dad runs all the time, or my kids run all the time, and it's taking up so much of our time. That is the time. And I know for me growing up, being around a mother who did nothing but run, bike, and everything, that was some of my favorite memories. So, it's not the memories always sitting on the couch and hanging out like that. It's the memories going out to turkey trots all the time.
Yeah.
Going for bike rides when it's free. We used to do this ride in Ohio called the Dirty Dozen, which was this always freezing cold. Every single Thanksgiving in Dayton, Ohio is like ice cold. And we would go out. My mom would come out. My dad would come out. I don't think my little brother came out, but, a bunch of our friends would come out. We all do these 12 climbs together. Take like 5 hours. Wow. It's a ridiculously long ride, but
yeah.
Those are the things I'm thankful for is families that are based around sport in general, but for this podcast specifically, endurance sports.
So you're probably thankful for us all hurting ourselves so you can have a little bit of job security.
Absolutely. I am so thankful for people who overdo their training.
And get hit by cars.
Not that one. Not that one. That is not. Nobody likes to see that.
Matt, what are you thankful for, bud?
I can't definitely, I'm not going to pass up family opportunities to be thankful for the fam. My family definitely knows that I'm thankful for them. Right, even before this podcast, we were just talking about the better half, right? My wife isn't just an amazing person. You kind of read about these amazing people or whatever it is, and you're like, oh, well, man, my wife is just twice that person, and I live with this person. I mean, it's pretty cool. She lets me do all kinds of crazy sports stuff, crazy triathlon stuff. Super thankful for that. And she's down to do stuff like I think we're going to do a Pilates lesson. I think we're lined up for next week.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So thankful for that. Thankful I've got those awesome kids that are down for running with dad occasionally. Oh, yeah. Sometimes they cry about it.
Your kids are the one that
sometimes they roll with it.
He made it through it. He's the one who told you that he wanted to go that far, right?
He didn't make it as far as he wanted to go. But I think we talked about that last week in last week's podcast. But yeah, my kids love all this stuff. They will be out for a turkey trot for sure. Definitely thankful for them. So,
yep. I'm not thankful for my family. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm super thankful. More than thankful. It's been an awesome foray into this whole cycling world over the last dozen plus years of really just kind of jumping head in. So I'm super thankful that my wife is super supportive. I'm gonna stop saying the word super. And I'm also thankful for the fact that my son is really taking a passion and a liking to cycling. He's he's all in. I think next year he's talking about not wanting to play baseball in the spring so that he can go do more bike related stuff. Dang, and just this past week alone, I don't say anything. He tells me, Dad, can you go set my bike up on the trainer and get me set up on Zwift 3 times? And I think each time he's riding, 10, 12 miles, but he's 10 years old. So, I mean, that's pretty cool.
I think if we go by leg length and pedal stroke, he's basically at Lance's volume each week, I think.
So I'm thankful for that. What else you got, Lance?
The next thing I put on my list was my teammates.
Nice. We do have a really cool team.
We have a great team. I'm just very thankful that we have this group of people that think the same, that are supportive of one another, that are trying to help each other out. It's a very competitive team. We're trying to compete at the highest level of our abilities and what we can do here locally. But just being able to have teammates that will ride with me or will encourage me to go ride or help me do things that I wouldn't normally do or try different races or different things. Mm-hmm. There were lots of races I came and did this year purely because teammates needed support. So I came out to race, even though I had no, personal agenda.
I think it might be a little bit different with the triathlon sector. I mean, you guys do have some teammates, and it's kind of a growing thing right now for you with building the Dial Triathlon team. But you guys are a little bit more of the lone wolf. You're kind of committed to going out and doing that stuff. But in the cycling world, I don't think that me personally, I don't think I would ride near as much as I do, and I don't think I would race even a fraction of what I do if I didn't have the team that we have. I just
definitely,
I would probably take bits of time off. I might miss like 2 or 3 or 4 months or something like that. If I didn't have the team or the friends, it's going to take that teammate thing a little bit further and say friends that I have that I get to ride with consistently or go out and race with. If I didn't have that, I would be missing chunks of time. I would probably like stop riding for a little while just because I, ADD or something like that, or off looking at different things, and probably step on a scale at some point in time, like, oh gosh, you're getting heavy, get back out there on the bike, and then it becomes more of a function of just getting yourself back into shape. But it's a whole different paradigm with a good solid team around you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And it really keeps you committed. You have a lot of fun with it. I've been doing this for a lot of years now, and I'm not getting burnt out on it. I'm not. I mean, there are some days where you're like, I don't feel like riding today, but every time you go out there and get on the bike, you're happy. I can probably count on one hand over the last 10 years how many times I've regretted a bike ride. And it's usually because, end up in the hospital 3 of those 5 times. So anyhow,
I think that's really one of the things that I think everybody and anybody who does endurance sports period can be all thankful for together is, I mean, in the day and age of mental health and how do we solve it, like all 4 of us at this table have been through rough spots at times. What do we all go to when those happen? I know for me, like I always get on the bike. I always go for a run.
Right.
I won't say I go and swim. Swimming probably not the thing that I go to when struggling. Running and biking.
I was thankful to be able to swim. Like it was this like, oh, I might be able to swim with it. After my bike crash or whatever.
Yeah. I know you were excited to get back to that for sure.
I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why I was excited to be able to swim.
You're slowly becoming a swimmer.
I know. It's crazy.
You really are, though.
Yep. Yeah. I'm gonna wear Speedos to the next podcast.
You are. Yeah. Less and less clothing.
Yeah. You guys don't know what I'm wearing. The listeners don't know what I'm wearing. They don't.
Nice.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Whammy. Evan, what else you got for us, man?
I am thankful for old shoes. So I have a couple pairs of running shoes that I have had for a very, very, very long time. One of them is about to be retired here. I know I was joking about it earlier, but this is a big emotional moment for me. I got the new Nike Pegasus trail shoes. And as fun as it is to get a new pair of shoes, and you're excited about that new pair of shoes, a new pair of shoes means a very, very sad time for a runner, because that means
it's your partner crime.
Yeah. It's time to retire.
A pair.
My Pearl Izumis, which they don't even make shoes anymore, which means I cannot get another pair of those. And they are now gone.
You should, what you could do is maybe like light a candle.
I think so.
And like have them on one of those little boats.
Yeah, I should put them off on Fallen Leaf.
Yep,
and I'll go get them later in the year.
Yeah. Shoot some flaming arrows at it.
And then push it out into the water. And we'll probably have like some trumpet.
Like a Viking like sort of thing with it.
Maybe like some trumpet players playing in the background.
Yeah, and then shoot the flaming arrow to the boat.
And we'll all say something about your shoes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's been a good ride with him. It really has. I bought those shoes. I really want to take a guess on how many years old those shoes are.
Gosh. Well, Pearl Izumi, I'm going to guess.
How much duct tape is on them?
6 years.
7 years.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's a lot of miles. A lot of miles on those shoes.
So you do a lot of gait analysis with runners. That's one of your big things, and it's one of your areas of expertise and specialty.
Yep.
How often are you referring your runners to go out and get some new shoes?
So I have an unpopular opinion on this, actually.
Really?
I challenge anybody to go and look at legitimate research with this.
Right.
The shoe companies are lying to you, and lying to you very hard. So let me put it this way. The people who have researched this and me giving this advice to people, we clearly have no financial gain in telling you that buying new shoes frequently is not a good idea. There's any time that you're building a motor pattern in your foot, whether that's feedback, proprioception, all that stuff, it takes a long time for that to develop, especially through miles. Mm-hmm. So it is not advantageous to switch shoes every 200 miles, as they say. 200 for some brands, 400 for some. I've heard 2, 4, and 5 in different brands. Nike for a while was saying 200 actually.
Well, they say 200 on their some of their new stuff, like that Vaporfly Next Percent is supposed to be 200.
Exactly.
A lot of race shoes and things like that.
There is not a shred of research to point to that says that 200 miles is some magic number that you need to be switching shoes by. Now, I will say some people, let's say heavier people who put a lot more force through the shoe, generally feel like they have really beaten the shoe down. And if you are a more flat-footed person who, really will just dumb it down and say like feels the ground quite a bit more, you're going to feel the need to switch shoes more frequently. But there is no research to point to that says that you need to be doing it that often.
So next time you work with my wife, can you please tell her this? She must have 17 pairs of running shoes. It's like, yep, got to get a new pair of shoes. Yep. It's got too many miles on it.
This is the thing, is it's not something that I ever try to force somebody into doing, but I do. And this is just, I have a soft spot for some of those kids that got are in certain financial family situations where their families are like, I want my kid to run cross country, but we can't be switching shoes every 200 miles. My kid runs 50, 60 miles a week. We can't afford that. I like to put their thoughts to rest and say, the greatest runners, Kenyans and Ethiopians, literally ran in the same pair of sandals for 10, 20 years of their life.
Well,
there's
barefoot, really.
Yeah, well,
so
yeah.
I will.
Or the strap sandals
I'll disagree with you for the fun of disagreeing with you.
Dude, I play devil's advocate.
I know I love doing that, but
Captain Contrarian.
I pushed my shoes to
because you were 120 a week for a while.
Yeah, so I would usually push my shoes to about 1,000 miles, which was twice what was recommended at the time back in the. I think that was like in the 50s, back in the early 20s and 50s. They didn't just switching from cars, from horses to cars. Anyway,
back when Andrew Jackson was president, I believe.
Yeah, I think he was. And so I would say the EVA material that they make the cushiony foam out of, it's made of ethylene vinyl acetate, and it basically will compress and compress and compress until it doesn't compress anymore.
It loses its spring.
It loses its spring, And so it does do that faster than you would think.
I will say race shoes are different than training shoes, though. I will wear training shoes for much, much, much longer than I ever do a race pair. Yeah.
The other thing to consider is different weather conditions. Like if you have water and things like that, and that will...
Mud, yeah.
Well, really, like water-soaked shoes will break down faster than, your shoes that have just been kept in nice, dry conditions. I think if you take good care of your shoes, they can last a long time. So,
1,000 miles is still a long time.
7 years, though. 7 years. That's...
How many miles are you running a year?
Probably
no shoes.
20, probably between 2,000 and 2,400.
So just for sake of easy math, we'll say you've done 2,000 miles a year.
You think you did over 5,000 in that pair of shoes?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Well, if you said you had them for 7 or 8 years and you're doing 2,000-ish miles a year.
They were my trainers for like 4 years, like really consistent trainers for 4 years,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I do not recommend that. I recommend Jake's wife's
I also just to be very clear, do not suggest 7 years. It's a very long time.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Well, and people can wear out a shoe a certain way, and then now they're supinating like extremely badly.
Depends on the make of the shoe. Yeah. I used to run Sauconys because they have a little bit of issues.
It's fair. We're gonna give them a proper. Yeah. We're gonna have to give them a proper exit to the world with send off.
Send them off.
Stay tuned, Matt. What else you got?
Let's see here. I would say, since we are talking about sending off Evan's shoes into the lake somehow with a fancy send off, the place that we live is ridiculous. Like we're like,
shh, don't tell anybody.
I know I shouldn't tell you guys this, but
Camas is awful.
From Jake's house here, we can almost see like 3 lakes. And they're all gorgeous, and a river, and we have trails along those lakes for cool runs like our Lakeside Long Run group. Yeah. So I'm extremely thankful for the place that we live. I actually like cycling here. I think some of the roads that we have, especially when you get off some of the main sections, are beautiful. I don't know if it's necessarily the best place in the world to bike, but man, I think Columbia River Gorge and some of those places are unbelievable for cycling. And so unbelievable cycling, great running, like some of the best running in the world. Also, if you like open water swimming, some of the best in the area. Yeah. I mean, it's just
I would say our
really cool
Triple Crown ride out in Washougal, though. I mean, that makes my top 10 list of rides I've done in America.
Yeah, it's a good ride.
It does.
Yeah.
Just on the Washington side.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that I can just cruise out of my front door and go do all of this stuff. It's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. I am, Lance stole my teammates one, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to say that I'm thankful for race promoters. I know that like cycling is kind of struggling a little bit well, more so, I guess, in the road scene. But when you stop and you take a look at like different regions or zones or areas, and you look at the volume of racing that they have per capita, and you look at OBRA, the Oregon Bicycle Racing Association, and all the racing that we do here in Oregon and Southern Washington, our race calendar is packed. And we will lose races, but there's always inevitably a few new ones that'll poke on. Like, for instance, just this past weekend, you guys had another cyclocross race added to the calendar that wasn't on there, 3 months ago or 2 months?
3 weeks ago, it wasn't on there.
Is it that?
They'd been working on it for a couple of months.
Okay, that's what
it was. But it didn't make it on the calendar until like 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
So the first weekend in March-ish is usually when we have our first race of the season, and it really doesn't stop until now. It just, like, the local race season just pretty much finished. There's nothing else on the calendar besides the Nats, right? The Nationals Cross.
There's a couple races in Eugene. There's some cyclocross races in Eugene, and there's another one in December on Sabi's Island, I believe, but they're very small.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, though, we're done for the year. So if you think about it, from the beginning of March to the end of November, we have a lot of promoters to thank for putting so many racing dates on the schedule. It's pretty fantastic, and I just want to thank them because it's kind of a thankless job. I mean, they're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. People kind of show up in their nervousness of like getting ready for a race, and they're all trying to get prepped, and then they go out there and they blow themselves up. And usually you just jump in the car and head home if you didn't make the podium, and you just don't think about like what all went into that race and how much work it actually was. So the promoters and their team and the volunteers, it's a great job of what they do, and I'm just thankful for that.
That's good.
So, Lance, what else?
My next thing that I'm thankful for is that I've been able to get to know more people in the cycling community, which has just opened more doors for me as well.
Sure.
The mountain bike ride I did this week up on Mount Hood, the reason I went is because a fellow competitor invited me to go with him. He's not on my team. He's one of my direct competitors. We compete in the 50-plus field in cyclocross and in short track mountain biking all season long. And he just texted me, says, hey, your afternoon busy? Why don't you come out to Mount Hood with me? And the two of us just had a great day in mountain biking up at Mount Hood. So I was really thankful for that. Another thing that happened this week that was also just knowing the cycling community, we have a competing team that is actually based here out of Camas called Tireless Velo.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're super cool.
They're super cool. And they actually have a cyclocross practice every Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I invited myself to the cyclocross practice. I know when it is and I know where it is. And I've gone in years past, but I have not gone this year at all. But this week it kind of worked out, and I just showed up. And I'm like, I hope it's cool that I'm here. And they're like, oh, Lance, you're welcome anytime. And there were 6 or 7 of us, and we it was a good interval session and a good skills session on cyclocross. And I was just super thankful that I'm involved enough with the community that I knew that these things were available. And neither of these things were team related, not my team. They were just as part of the community. So
it's nice that they're just like open to, hey, come on.
Yes.
And you know what's nice is it's like someone with a prescribed workout. Like Bill Gritsky is amazing. He knows cyclocross, and he knows like they set up a slightly different course every single time.
Yep.
And it's like, here's this workout, and it's good.
So
it's really good.
So Bill set up the whole course, and Karen had written the specific workout for that day, which involved several 1 minute, 2 minute, and 3 minute intervals where we were working hard going through the course. It was fantastic practice.
Yep.
So I was just really happy that I wasn't kicked out once I showed up.
I always thought that maybe those two teams, you know, our team and their team would somehow like fuse together somehow someday. I really, really like that group.
They're good people.
That's a good group for sure.
Just out of curiosity, can you guys think of a different, like we'll just call it the endurance community for cycling, running, and triathlon. Can you think of another community that has so many virtues about it for people on the whole? When you think of like, you know, the health and the fitness component, you think about the good people, you think about like just the ability to be outside and be a part of nature and whatnot. Can you think of another community anything. It doesn't have to be sport related that will support a person on that level and give you so many positive benefits.
The bird watching community, is there bird watching?
Outdoor yoga community?
Outdoor,
I don't know.
The goat yoga community?
The goat yoga community, yes.
Seriously though,
Those are the only two. Fishing community. Those are the only 3 I got.
Sit on a boat and drink some beer and eat some hamburgers, huh?
There we go. You're outside the list.
Yeah, that's true.
Seriously though, I can't think of a better community to be a part of. If you're trying to think about just like, long-term health and, fun and being able to plug into different people and the friends that you make and the support system and the ability to compete or not compete depending upon whatever like floats your boat. I mean, there's so many different things that you can plug into in this community that are so good for you.
One thing I experienced along those lines, like in yesterday's race, I would hear people like cheer my name like every third corner on the course, and those weren't teammates cheering for me. They're people from all other teams. And we get to the end of the race, and I was talking to a guy that I was battling with, and he's like, I knew you were there because everybody was yelling your name, and there are guys that I'm not normally close to because I had this great call-up position. But it was, I mean, that kind of stuff is really cool because most of the people that were calling my name were not the 10 teammates that I had there. They were yelling as well. But it was all these other people that just know us from the community and just being a part of it and part of the races. So.
That's just a testament to the fact that you're an asset to the cycling community. You're a good dude. So, yeah.
I don't know about that.
I think
the handlebar should say otherwise.
Well, and I think some of the stuff that Dialed has coming up that's planning, for future plans is going to, make that even better.
Yeah.
Races and I think especially a lot of the charity stuff that that you guys are taking on and stuff like that is going to be pretty cool.
Yep. Evan, what do you got? You got another one?
Yes. I am thankful for post-workout carbs.
Yeah.
Carbs of all different types.
Bag of chips.
Now, this includes everybody. This is like an umbrella term because it can include our vegan brothers and sisters as well as our vegetarian and also our meat-eating brothers and sisters. So I want to go around the table and what post-big training carb is everybody most thankful for? Most thankful. Not your, what's your favorite? What's the one that you're like, I am so glad that I just had that?
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter. That's a strong one. That's a good one right there.
I love
on bread, or just like, are you a psychopath that just like scoops out and eats peanut butter?
Well, I am a psychopath.
Good answer. Good answer.
I actually like to put it on a tortilla.
Peanut butter?
What?
Peanut butter on a tortilla?
I put.
It's a delivery mechanism.
Yeah, it is. It's just about shoveling more of it in my mouth.
It's just a vessel. That's all.
I put it on, and I don't use jam. I use like dried strawberries. So I just put like, and it is glorious.
Well, wait.
It's
dried strawberries.
It's like 3 or 4 tablespoons of peanut butter and dried strawberries.
Where do you dry strawberries?
You get them at Costco.
I get them at Costco. Yeah.
That's where we get everything.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, go on.
Everything is grown and
like a little
Can I make
peanut
a
butter
suggestion?
burrito.
Can I make a suggestion? Stop using tortillas. Make yourself some crepes. Be infinitely better.
That's true. That's
I'll send
very true. Yeah,
I'll send
exactly.
our international student.
I need Maria at my house.
Yeah, Maria should definitely be helping with this process.
She's so good at making those. I bought her a special little crepe pan to make crepes with, and then like the little wood spatula thing that they use is special. There's a wood spatula and then a little doohickey thing. I don't even know what it's called.
I'll be over tomorrow morning.
There you go. Yeah.
You know what? They don't have school tomorrow, so that might happen. You guys might get a phone call. Crepes are on.
Crepes are on.
Mine.
Yep.
Again, going to channel my inner millennial here. Avocado toast.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
But you're doing it homemade, so don't worry. It's not fully millennial. You didn't go and buy it for $12. So.
No, that's very very true.
Matt?
Beer.
So beer
simple.
Honesty
so simple.
That's funny.
Carbs, man.
That's funny. Yeah.
Post workout carbs.
What's yours, Evan?
There's so many good ones. I really have a special place in my heart for different flavored chips, but usually like a hickory barbecue chip, like a hickory barbecue Lay's.
I was right. I said a bag of chips.
Yep, exactly. An entire, and I like, if the bag is open, it's getting finished.
How about salt and vinegar?
Salt and vinegar, I will go for it. There's only a couple types of chips I really will not eat, but those are harder to think of than the ones that I will eat, which is most other chips. So.
Matt, you got another thankful thing for us?
You know, we had a teammate that had a really bad crash this past week, John Kraft, and it was really hard to see that. I am super thankful that he is okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's recovering, and knowing him, he'll get right back on the bike. He won't hesitate as much as me to get back on the bike. He'll be, right back at it.
John's a tough cyclist.
Yeah.
He's been a tough cyclist for a long time.
He's been a daily commuter for a number of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Evan's age, probably. Like Evan's whole life, John's been on the bike doing stuff for a long time.
John's in his 50s. He's 51, I think.
But I think he's been biking for
still riding strong too.
Yes.
Yeah, he
still rides very strong.
Mm-hmm. So I'm super thankful that he is okay. My wife and I were talking, after that, and my wife's like, that could have been you so easily, broken neck, or worse, right? So I'm super thankful that the way that I crashed, really only, this little shoulder thing. So. Could have been a lot worse.
That just wouldn't happen to you, Matt, if you wouldn't have decided to put pressure on the handlebars.
You're not really allowed to look at the stem of your bike.
Like they told you. Yeah. If you just wouldn't have looked at the handlebars too hard. Yeah.
So that's one thing I'm thankful for.
Cool. I'm thankful for innovation. There's some cool things like over the last 5+ years that have really kind of started to come around. I know that a lot of people say it's not riding bikes, but the indoor stuff has changed. I used to ride the trainer quite a bit just because my schedule wouldn't permit, or I had young kids and I wasn't able to leave. There was nothing worse than sitting on a fluid trainer that was buzzing super loud, that had no give to it, and you had nothing else to watch but TV. And even just barely having power meters, at least having some metrics to watch. I mean,
ESPN Sports Center over and over.
It was so hard to get a workout in there. And then you fast forward to today that we've got trainers now that are giving us feedback in terms of road feel and adjusting based on elevation of the climbs that you're doing, and fans that adjust to your heart rate or the speed that you're going on your bike. And then you've got
YouTube that you can watch anything on you want.
And races. You can race.
Yeah. Or you can race on Zwift. You can train with your friends on Zwift. You can use Discord to talk to them. I mean, I know that some people are the purists still say, I'm not riding my bike on a train. But if you start to think about all the different variables that come into play for some people, like myself, not always being able to get outside, or having kids, or being broken, hurt. I mean, that's saved my bacon. I mean, that's allowed me to stay connected to a community that I love. So there's that. And then, power meters have come a long ways, and the Garmin's and Wahoos of the world have come a long ways. I mean, the technology of helmets has come a long ways. There's people that, probably wouldn't be with us today if they weren't wearing the helmet. Like John Kraft, if he wasn't wearing a good helmet, that could have ended a lot worse.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. The innovation stuff to me, it's really cool. It keeps me plugged in and connected. I'm like that dork that likes all of the little bells and whistles and the gadgets and monitoring and tracking the metrics of what I've got going on and watching myself improve. So I'm thankful for that.
Who knows? 20, 30 years from now, we could be having, self-driving cars that maybe are able to sense cyclists a little bit better.
Fingers crossed for that.
And maybe even we've seen this weird technology now where it's the helmet will wrap around you and stuff. Have you guys seen kind of the prototypes for this stuff? Yeah. Who knows?
We can be hopeful.
Who knows?
Get some autonomous bikes too.
Be running
you just
around
have to sit there and pedal, and it does everything else.
Be in Bubble Boy suits here soon. Yeah.
Lance, you got another one?
The last one that I had on my list, because I'm not thankful for anything else.
Right.
These are the three things.
This is it. Was actually similar to Matt's. I'm really thankful for my health this last year. Seeing the two of you guys go through what you've had to go through this last year with your bike crashes has been, anyway, and it was worse for Jake.
I'm just going to continually knock on wood
just
over
keep
here while
knocking
you're
on
talking.
wood.
Yep.
But yeah, I've been really fortunate that I have not been injured. I have crashed a lot.
Yes.
I have lost a lot of skin.
Yes, you have.
But I have not been injured, and I am just thankful. I mean, I've had a very good racing season, and that's part of it. Yep. Just the consistency, just being able to stay healthy. And I know that is out of your control a lot of times and is not something you can completely plan on because injuries happen. But this year, it hasn't for me, so I'm really thankful for that.
Cool. Evan, you got another one?
I don't have one on here right now, but thankful for you three. I'm thankful for this table.
For this table.
Okay,
I'm thankful for Old Shoes Carbs and the people at this table.
So laugh if you will, but that's my last one on the list for me as well.
Let's all share that one together.
We are on podcast number 92.
Creeping up on the century mark.
And it feels like I've gotten to know you guys extremely well over the past, year and a half, 2 years, whatever
Almost
it's been.
2 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm super thankful for the chance to, get to know you guys more and also just have this little break in the week where we get to chat. And I'm thankful for our listeners that they put up with it, but I also feel like they're, right with us.
Oh.
Like,
You guys are part of the conversation, absolutely.
They get our stupid jokes and I feel like they get us,
Yeah.
So I'm super thankful for them.
Yeah. I always feel like we're talking like with the listeners, not at them. Because whenever I talk about the podcast, I love hearing people's opinions on whatever we're talking about. Because, that's the only reason we do this, is just to hear people's responses to it and hear what you think. And that's all that matters to me. Like, I could care less what I think on any of these topics. Like, personally, I could really care less what I think. It's more I like hearing what everybody else thinks. Yeah.
It still kind of boggles my mind to look at some of the numbers behind the scenes, like, because you can see like people listening and you have an idea of like how many listens you're getting per week, but what boggles my mind is how many different countries around the world actually listen to us. And we haven't heard from any of them, but they're listening. Like we've trended in Russia, we've trended in Spain and France, we've trended in like just like countries that I'm like, why would they want to listen to us? And they continue to listen to us because you can see the numbers ticking up. I'm like, that's insane. It's really cool. So how awesome would it be to have one of them on for a listener hot lab?
Oh, it'd be so cool. Yeah. It'd be so
we
cool.
We just need someone to translate.
Yes, exactly. I think, are we all one language here? Is anybody multilingual here?
Nope, not me. My son speaks Spanish, but not me.
We got to bring your son on then. Yep.
Yeah. Just un poco español.
Yeah.
So, which I've been working on with our exchange
students.
So,
nice.
Yeah.
Good.
I am going to put a fork in that one and call it done. I had one more, but I don't need to put that out there because I think we ended on a good note.
That's a good one.
So let's jump into one last thing. Lance, you want to start us off?
I've got one last thing. Before Cyclocross Nationals, I'm thinking about doing one more cyclocross race the weekend beforehand because I just found this out. I don't know why I didn't figure this out, but the way the USAC rankings work, they take the average score of your 5 best races, and those 5 best races, they take that average score, and that's where they rank you, is what your average of those 5 best races for your call-up. Right. And the lower the number, the better. But I've only done 4 USAC races. I have not done 5. And if you've only done 4, you get full points averaged in for that 5th race.
Not good.
So the first 2 races, I got like 330 points each that I did because I did terrible. The races I did yesterday, I'm guessing, are going to be in the 200 range because I did way better.
Yep.
But if you don't have a 5th race, you get 600 points. And so,
can you go cruise that race? I mean, because you could probably,
yes, I could.
You could probably get like in the 300 point range
just cruising it. Yeah, I might be able to do that. And the closest one is up at Whidbey Island, north of Seattle, out in Puget Sound.
Might be pretty.
So
take the adventure van up there.
I might have to.
Is that this weekend?
Do that. It's not, because this is Thanksgiving weekend.
Okay.
It's like 5 days before Nationals, so it's kind of a risk.
Just go up there and
just cruise it.
So anyway,
just treat it as your last hard training day.
You could cruise it, and then you could just cruise on down to Tacoma, and then do the,
and just do the
spend a week up there. I mean, we need you at the podcast,
which is funny because I'm talking to one of my race buddies there that I race with, and he's like, "Yeah, I told him he should have come up to get that 5th race." I'm like, "Why do you need 5 races?" It's like, well, you get full points for that 5th race if you don't. And I didn't even know it. That's how.
Dang it.
I just didn't look at it close enough.
Well, and you've got time, and
first year at Nationals, though, yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. You're not born with this knowledge.
No.
Got to figure it out somehow.
These algorithm things are confusing.
They are confusing.
Yeah.
Evan, do you have one last thing that you would like to share with us?
We have for the triathlon team this upcoming week, we got a Come As You Are Tuesday night swim coming up. Anybody is invited at the School for the Blind. Small fee coming in, but yeah, we've
It's like $3. That's a killer deal.
Yeah. It's just our coaches are off for the Thanksgiving week, so everybody come and we'll just write up a workout and all have fun together. I will be around Thanksgiving, so on Thanksgiving Day, probably going to go for a bike and a run with hopefully Matt LeGrand.
Sure.
We'll see how Matt's calf is treating him.
You're going to do the turkey trot.
I believe so. Yep. It's gonna depend on the time of the ride on Thursday too. Me, Dustin, and David are doing a ride, but yeah, outside that, I'll work it out. So we're all having fun, and then I'm gonna hopefully get to see you all on Thanksgiving. I know I'm gonna see Matt.
You're gonna see me.
Maybe.
I'll be riding my bike at some point in time. That's kind of another thing that I do every year on Thanksgiving. So,
Lance, where are you going to be on Thanksgiving?
I have no idea.
You'll be on a bike.
I'll probably be on a bike at some point.
Okay, gotcha. We shall link up then. Yeah.
Matt, one last thing.
This week I'm doing a little video series, really quick, short video series talking about all the Black Friday specials that are out there within triathlon. And so it's 3 videos, one for swimming, one for biking, and one for running. I didn't know where to put triathlon watches. So,
that's true.
Yeah, I know, right? Because it's all. So I just am sprinkling them all into each of the videos, and so super cool. There's a whole bunch of really amazing deals out there right now. If you listen to the Dial podcast, then you can probably contact Jake and get a better deal than anything else that I can come up with. But you should still watch the videos and subscribe and all of that stuff.
I would love to do that, Matt. Where can I go watch these videos?
On the YouTube. YouTube.com/MLegrand.
I'm on it. I'm going to go watch those
now,
videos.
Matt, if I search M. LeGrand,
if you search Matt LeGrand, then you're up against
which one are we going to need to click on?
You're up against a real question mark of there's the guy singing to girls with his shirt off on the beach.
Is that the podcast guy on Dialed Podcast?
That's one guy you're going to want to check out, and then there's me, also good.
I thought you guys were collaborating now. Who's doing all of your music?
Who's the weird guy with the bike behind him and usually wearing a hat?
That guy. He's
okay. Gotcha.
He's talking about triathlon stuff.
I kind of want to click on the music stuff. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. I mean,
do you know any of the songs? Can you bust out any of the songs for us?
His kids can.
I can't. I don't know his song. I don't know his stuff as well as I pretend to. But I am his biggest fan. Changed my name and everything. So.
$1 million question and last one. Do you follow him on YouTube?
I think I do. I'm pretty sure that I do.
You should. That would be hilarious.
I could. Yeah, absolutely.
Reach out to him, man.
I commented on one of his videos from you.
Oh, you did.
Did he ever respond to that?
Oh, that's good. We need to check that.
No.
To be continued next week, everybody.
We'll find out.
We should start a little campaign to go have people say hi to him.
Up,
yeah.
We'll start working together to get these two guys working together.
Jake, any one last thing?
Yes, the Ugly Christmas Sweater Ride is coming up. That is a week from this coming Saturday. On December 7th, we will be doing the Ugly Christmas Sweater Ride. I'll post that up on our Facebook page again for people to see. But more importantly than that, and that's just kind of a part of the bigger picture, is our Bikes for Kids campaign. So the GoFundMe is all set up for that. If anybody would like to make a kind contribution, 100% of all monies, there's no overhead on this. 100% of all monies will go to buying bikes for kids. And these are less fortunate kids who just do not have the financial means or access to even get like the worst of bikes. We're going to go out there and we're going to buy them a killer Cannondale bike of their choice. So
it's going to be Cannondale again.
It's going to be Cannondale again. They've got the best setup for us, and we're connected with them, and they give us a really killer deal on those. So it helps our money go even further. So that when we buy a bike, we can almost buy 2 bikes for the cost of one. So
good.
It's a lot of fun stuff, and we'll put helmets on these kids from Giro, and I'm working with, I'm trying to work on getting us locked in with a bike lock company. So. Nice. But I will post up the GoFundMe for the Bikes for Kids as well, so that if anybody wants to make a donation, even if it's just a couple bucks, I mean, if you can give up $5 or something like that, that'd be awesome. Anything more than that, it's just super appreciated by all of us, because there's a lot of people that are going to be rallying for this, and it's not going to end on that December 7th. We're actually going to be raising the money all through December. This year, we're not building it around Christmas. It's just going to be something that we're going to go through the whole Christmas season, and hopefully people can make contributions, and then we will get the bikes in probably sometime in January and deliver to the bikes to the kids in February-ish, when the weather gets a little bit nicer and they can actually go outside and ride them. So
perfect.
That's the plan.
That's fantastic.
We cover everything. Awesome. Thankful for you guys.
Thankful for you guys too.
Thankful for you.
Thankful for our listeners. Thankful for you guys coming back and listening another week. And hopefully we'll see you next week, right? Yeah.
For number 93.
3, yeah. 3. All right, thanks for listening. Until next time, bye for now.